Being a chicken farmer is incredibly demanding. It takes my conscience every waking minute I'm awake. I don't know as I knew that when I quite threw myself into it, but it is something that's all absorbing really. I mean, I totally commit my time to these birds, whether I'm on farm or off farm, and therefore if at any point they need anything, they come first. And you know, much to my wife's annoyance, there are occasions when we should be going out, which we can't do. The birds need me, so therefore the birds have got to come first. We take in day-old chicks here, got 180,000 birds spread over 4 sheds, and rear them to an average age of 36.5 days. We're meeting the standards of an independent assurance scheme, the Red Tractor scheme, and that will entail independent audits being carried out here, and an inspector will come along and check that what I'm saying I'm doing, I am actually doing. We're also open to audits from our retail end customer, if you like, and they can come unannounced at any time and come in here and also inspect what we're doing. So it's very important that we meet these schemes that for the consumer they can relate to and have some confidence in what we're doing on farm. The biggest thing I would love the public to appreciate is how much I do care for my birds. We all know as livestock farmers producing animals for meat that ultimately that animal will be consumed. But that doesn't mean you don't care for it. It doesn't mean it doesn't deserve to have a nice life while it is alive, and therefore my responsibility is to give them the best I can for the time that they're here. I have to go to bed at night knowing that my birds are as comfortable as I can make them. I can't go to bed and think that they're stressed in any way. I'd sooner not go to bed. What's very critical with any chicken when it's a day old is it needs to be warm. Its body temperature needs to be 42 degrees. It needs a hot surface to sit on. So what we've got here is some underfloor heating in place, which means we give the heat where the bird requires it, and we can make sure he's absolutely comfortable right from day one. At the moment we operate that system burning gas to warm the water, and we've just started now looking to plant our own renewable energy sources so that we can become self-sufficient and look to reduce our carbon footprint. Another big part of this farm is the ventilation as well as the heat. We have carbon dioxide sensors within the shed to get down to the specifics of the content of the air so that we make sure that it doesn't just smell and feel fresh within a shed, it is actually the right conditions for the birds. And then feed wise, they're fed food all the time, they're not restricted on food at any time, and that's given to them through yellow feed pan system. The feed is specifically designed to what these birds require and has a number of ingredients in it, but the bulk of it is wheat. It'll then have things added in like oilseed rape meal, which gives an oil content. On top of that there will be the vitamins that the birds may need, some enzymes which will help them to digest that food efficiently, and every little bit of ingredient in there is designed to improve the bird's digestion of that food. There's no magic hormones, there's no magic ingredient, it's just a food that has a given protein content, a given energy content sufficient for the demands of the bird. The birds are then given mains water, which we supply through drinker nipples, and they have access to that all the time, 24 hours a day. As a farmer, I'm in the shed assessing the birds, but I can't be in every shed every minute of every day. So the computers are in place and they're monitoring everything from the temperature, the humidities, the air pressure, the food and water that they're consuming, and recording that data, which allows me to monitor both here on the farm and remotely through the internet, and now through my smartphone. I can always keep in touch with exactly what the birds are doing, and should any of the parameters not meet my expectations, it can then ring me up and ask me to come back to the farm and double check. So if a feed line runs out of food and there is a fault with the motor and it doesn't recharge itself, I know to come back, and the birds don't go long without food, they're not stressed, and I can correct that. Fundamentally, I'm trying to meet the demands of a marketplace where people are eating standard chicken and happy to eat it. It's healthy, it's fresh, it's available, and it's very, it's very reasonable money for what you're getting. And I'm trying to meet that demand with the demands of the environment, and at the same time I'm trying to meet my own conscience and deliver something that I can live with.